Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
Today, we will start the first topic of this series, which is brief introduction of Verilog. In this topic, we will discuss about what is Verilog, what it is used for. Then we will see how a program flows in Verilog. In the end, we will discuss about the different simulators which are available in the market, and I will show you how you can get started with Verilog easily without installing anything. So stay tuned till the end and let's dive into the video. What is Verilog? Verilog is a hardware description language commonly known as HDL, which is used to write RTL code for a hardware design. RTL stands for Register Transfer Level. In this level of abstraction, the hardware design is modeled using the flow of digital signals or data between hardware registers, and logical operations are performed on these signals. As hardware has input and output as signal, and we know signals are anything which changes its value with time. Thus, Verilog is time-dependent simulator which is based on C language. The Verilog codes run indefinitely unless stopped, simulating the output for each input. So, Verilog was introduced in 1985 by a group of engineers and scientists. It was made open standard for HDL in late 1995. Verilog was standardized as IEEE 1364 when it was made open standard, and later it was merged with System Verilog and standardized as IEEE 1800. The current version of Verilog is IEEE 1800 2017. Another very popular HDL is VHDL, which stands for Very High Speed Integrated Circuit Hardware Description Language. VHDL was introduced earlier than Verilog and is commonly used in European countries, whereas Verilog is more popular in Asian countries and USA. Knowing the difference between the two languages is beneficial as it is asked in interviews. So let's look into the difference. Verilog is a weak typed language while VHDL is a strong typed language. Weak typed language basically means that the data type can be implicitly converted by the compiler if possible without throwing error, whereas in strongly typed language the compiler will throw an error in case of data type mismatch. Verilog has low verbosity while VHDL has more verbosity. Verbosity can be thought as the amount of code that needs to be written for a particular task. Thus, in Verilog, less amount of code needs to be written. Verilog is case sensitive, whereas VHDL is not case sensitive. This means that the identifiers in Verilog should be exactly same including their case, whereas in VHDL the case of identifiers may be different. Verilog is based on C language and thus it is easy to learn, whereas VHDL is based on Ada or Pascal and may be difficult to learn as most of the people are more familiar with C language. Verilog represents hardware more accurately, whereas in VHDL it cannot be represented that accurately. Now we will see how a program flows in Verilog. As Verilog is time-dependent simulator, thus for every code we write in Verilog, we define the time step in which the simulator will sample the input and calculate the output. But this time step should not be confused with the real time interval, as this is hypothetical time step. Don't worry if you are not able to understand this now, as this will be more clear once we see the example. For example, let's suppose we have a time step of 1 nanosecond. This means that the Verilog will sample all the values at an interval of 1 nanosecond and give the output. But as I said earlier, this 1 nanosecond does not relate to the real world 1 nanosecond. The reason for this is that the Verilog is itself running on a processor which would have some clock speed, and also Verilog would require some time to carry out these calculations, and this calculation time will surely be more than 1 nanosecond. Once the calculation is done for one time step, the simulation goes to the next time step and the cycle continues until the simulation ends. In this graph, we can see that the different calculation points have different calculation time, and thus it can be seen that the time step is just a hypothetical time step in which the hardware is simulated. For every time step, The calculations or simulation is done in different steps, which is known as event semantic. In Verilog, there are 4 event regions, namely active region, inactive region, NBA or non-blocking assignment region, and postponed region. When the simulation moves to a new time step, first the active region is executed. In this region, all the code gets executed and the order of execution is not defined. Then the inactive region is executed. In this region, zero delay statements are executed. After this, NBA region is executed, in which the LHS of NBA regions are assigned. This marks the end of all the calculation, and the next region, which is postponed, is used to monitor the signal. Some of the system function like $monitor, $strobe uses this region. Don't worry if you are not able to completely understand the entire flow. It will be clearer as we proceed further in this series, and you will be able to realize the importance of these regions. For now, please make a note of these event regions. There are many different simulators available in the market for writing Verilog code, but the most common are Xilinx Vivado and ModelSim from Mentor Graphics. Apart from this, there are some free simulators like Icarus Verilog. Now I will show you a quick way to get started with Verilog without installing anything. First, we will be seeing about an online platform which is known as EDA Playground. So we can go into this website by using this URL edaplayground.com. The link is also given in the description so that you can directly click in this link. So this is a online platform which is developed by Dolus, and this platform is used by hardware developers to collaborate with each other, just like GitHub. So let's first see the different settings which are present in here. So first is the test bench plus design, the language which we want to use. So in here there are different languages. So for this series we will use system verilog/verilog, as we are using we will be learning Verilog in this course. And this UVM OVM we will just keep it to none because we are not using this. And these all settings can be like set to the default thing. And in the tools and simulator, we can see that there are many simulators and which are present in this. So these are the few of the commercial simulators. To use this, you would require an institutional email ID, that is an email ID from your college or from your company. So in this we will be using one of the free simulators, that is Icarus Verilog. So we will select this, and also we will click on this open epwave after run option. So this will basically open windows after the program has completed running. So this from where we can check the waveform, right? So before you can run any code in this playground, you need to make an account or log in into this EDA Playground, which you can do it by clicking in here the login button. As I have already been logged in, so it is showing profile. If I will log out, yeah, so you will see that the login option comes here. So you can log in with your Google or Facebook, or if you have an institutional email ID, then you can directly log in with that and have a full access. So we will do a login with Google. Yeah, so as we see, we have logged in through our Google ID, and now we can run this code, any code which we write here. Okay, so also in this playground we can see that there were many public codes which are like uploaded by various different authors. So we can click on this playground, published playground, and then we can see different codes which have been uploaded by the different users. So let's open one of this like B flip flop, and then we can just click on this run. So we see that we have an output in here. So if we click on this open epwave and run it again, so we see that windows come in which the waveform is also given. So we can analyze this waveform from here.
So this is it for the EDA playground. Also, a starter code has been made in this EDA playground, and the link of that is given in the description, so you can check it out also.
If you want to see a detailed video on how to write codes on EDA Playground, please leave a comment down below. Thank you for staying with me till the end, and please do like, share and subscribe the channel.